Hey, we're back with another, I guess, sculpting action figure type video, but this time I'm making my own character, and I'm not using any base figures for it. I'm going to be building my own from scratch, and I've done this before in the past, but I was like a teenager, so the quality might be different because A, I haven't done it in so long, and B, I have sculpted since then, so I feel like my sculpting abilities have come up, but I don't know about my mechanical abilities, like the ability to make working parts. So we will see how that goes. I've got the head sculpted so far, and the neck, but this is the character I'm building. This is, I printed this out. It was from her digital reference. This is my character, Burry. She is an alien, and this is the way she looks. So she's very weird, so I figured I wasn't gonna be able to use a pre-made doll body of any kind, especially since she's got these digitigrade legs with a little like prehensile, like what do you call it, an opposable toe in there. She has these sort of big knuckly hands and really wide shoulders and kind of a small body, honestly. She's just too strange, I think, in order to get a good result from something pre-made. So I've decided to just do what I used to do and make her from scratch. I've only ever made humanoids in the ball joint style. So I've been using things like elastic. So this is what I would put inside the figure, is this, and it would run from inside like a loop affixed inside the skull, and this would travel doubled up down the body and then into the legs, and then I'll have another piece holding the arms from wrist to wrist through the shoulder joint area. I've got, I can show you the little, I guess, schematic. It's in my sketchbook. Sorry, I'm a little lo-fi, but her head's too small in this drawing, but bear with me. This is the basic idea, so ignoring that, just picture her head the normal size, like that size. But this was more for the joint placement. The dotted lines are kind of like where they would intersect. The goal is to have a couple here that kind of sits and have the neck kind of seated in the chest. I've seen this on some action figures that are either more athletic or wide, or sometimes even like they have bare shoulders. I like the idea of having this rotation joint here before you even get the shoulder joint in here. It's kind of like a shoulder blade joint. I thought that was very clever, and I've only recently discovered there are action figures with that, so I'm doing that if I can. I want to have a little hinged point here because she's very flexible, so I thought it'd be nice to be able to have a figure I could pose with a lot of room for flexibility. I'm considering, because her hands are so large, considering articulating them. We will see how that goes. I mean, I can take a crack at it, but I have a feeling it will be hard to do, but if I'm gonna do it, this is the figure to do it on, because she's got big hands. I thought it would be fun to try, for the first time, a double jointed hip socket. I thought that would be interesting. I'm going to be sculpting her body, kind of like Barbie style, where I'm just gonna have sort of, like, I'm gonna have her clothes on afterward. I'm gonna try to, because she has baggier pants, as you can see. But the tank top shouldn't be hard. I think I can get some like black jersey or something. But the goal, I wanted it to be things that are easy to put on. And I was thinking for the pants, I'll have like a drawstring you can tuck in because you can't really see it. I might do a belt, we'll see. I'm just thinking for the basics, I might skip it or have it as like a thing you can add afterward. But either way, the important part is getting the sculpt, and then she can wear whatever she wants. But I thought it would be fun to try some more. I know in some action figures it's called a butterfly joint. I don't know what it's called when it's a ball joint. Maybe it's the same, but that double socketed, so you can have the arm kind of fold in on itself. I really like that. And I'm just, yeah, this is the goal. So we'll see how that goes. Currently, I have sculpted the head and neck. I just finished cooking the neck up this morning, this part from here to here. The top part I did like a week ago. So this is what I have so far. It's not the greatest sculpt I've ever done, but it's decent. It's good enough for me, and she can kind of stretch her neck out. So that's what I wanted. I hadn't seen any figures that hit that nice middle point between, like, I don't want to just do like a gooseneck joint because I feel like it doesn't have a lot of finesse for something like her. She's got a lot of weird shapes she can make, and I wanted that strong back of the neck curve without I didn't want it to just be like a tube. I think this is probably the best I'm gonna get. I might rework some of these, but honestly, like for the mobility, I don't think I can do a whole lot more with this. I did still want her to be mobile, and I wanted her neck to be a little fatter, but I mean, for what I want to do for the bending in on itself ability, she has a lot of flesh on her neck, whereas honestly, the spine is just right in there. So you really, sculpting in a hard medium, it's you're never gonna get an exact 1-to-1 for that. I do have, and I've showed her in a video before, I do have this one. Unfortunately, the wire came loose from her neck, so I can't even pose it anymore. It's in there, so I can kind of give a basic shape to the neck, but ultimately this one is busted now. I don't have the heart to rip it open and try to reattach it because I'm just afraid I'm going to break it, but it's still honestly, this is probably too thick, but like, this is a good idea of like how her neck actually bends. There's a lot of folding happening, which you can't achieve with hard stuff. Originally, I wanted to have her mouth open, so you could like open and close her mouth so you could see her teeth, because she's got some interesting teeth. They'd be kind of like this. Maybe not quite as tusky in the front here. This one's a little tuskier than she is, but this is her basic tooth arrangement, and I thought that would have been so cool to have, like, she could open her mouth and there'd be teeth in there, but I was like, no pun intended, biting off more than I could chew with that one, so I decided against it because I just really wanted a nice sculpt. I might have to go in and augment the nose a little bit, make it a bit bigger, a bit longer. It doesn't look bad in the actual shape, but I just feel like because her head is the length it is, I feel like the nose needs to come out just a teeny bit further. It's a little snub for her. I can fix that with like green stuff, or I did already put some super glue on this part of the head to attach the hook inside. I can show you how I did that if you're curious. So this is just held on by suspension, and maybe just because I made these a little tight. Okay, but you can see I put a hook. When I sculpted the head, I used like a pin or a sculpting pin of sorts to push kind of an opening inside her head, like a hidden pinhole. And then when I got it out of the oven, I shoved this jewelry hook in here. It's just a long stem with a little eye hook at the end, and I folded the end of it over, and honestly, like, I was afraid I was gonna bust this head in two. I thought it was gonna like split in half because I was like using pliers to jam it in there, and I was like, oh, we're gonna break this, because Sculpey is not known for its incredible flexibility. It's a little on the brittle side, especially since mine is kind of old. So I was just worried about that, but that's how that works. And then I've been using, so unfortunately every time I want to put it back together, I've got to take all this off and restring from the head down. So it's a kind of a hassle. The good thing is if I wear out this elastic, there's nothing gluing it to her, so I can just restring her if this test elastic starts to get really, really flimsy. On that base piece, just because I wanted a smoother transition, you can see I did kind of shave it down. I might sand it to get a smoother finish. I'm always accidentally poking with my fingernails because I have huge, big fingernails, and that's just the way I like them to be, because I feel like a declawed cat if I don't have my fingernails. I use them for everything. They're like box cutters, and I don't know, I even sculpt with them. They're good to have for certain things, but it's a double-edged sword fingernail. This one is so dry, it's disgusting, but it's winter, so. But yeah, I always, if you do have fingernails, yeah, be warned, this will be frustrating for you. So, if you've never sculpted before, I would definitely say this isn't, I wouldn't call this entry level, but if you're mechanically inclined, like you like making hinges and pieces and things that work, maybe if you've done woodworking, this could be fairly approachable. Fairly approachable. So I'm gonna obviously make more of her, but today I think this is as far as I'm gonna get with it. I've got a busy day, but that's what I have here. And I think it's pretty posable. Like, I like that she can kind of tuck her head in or stick her head out. Like, that's very much her actual range of motion. Normally this would be able to go higher. The funny thing is I can flip this, and she can actually do that. Unfortunately, because she has those stripes on her back and on her neck, I don't think this is going to look good if I do this on the figure, because the patterns will end up on on her throat, and that won't look right. But honestly, all in all, pretty good. Like, it's a little hitchy fully extended, but not the end of the world. I'm perfectly happy with how this came out. I mean, I'm only making one, so I don't need to get like this master plan of how I'm going to do these. I just really wanted a figure of her. I thought that would be super cool, because I've had her for a while, and usually by now I've got an action figure of a character I like. It's only a matter of time, right? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of my thing. Anytime I have a beloved character, I tend to build them. I think it's helpful for reference, and it's just kind of cute to have one hanging out at your desk. I don't know. I like it. Little buddy. So, yeah, I'll update that when I do more, but that's currently what I have. I don't know if I want to release this as an entire video, or I might just do incremental, like, update videos. I'm thinking that might be more manageable. Less editing. So, yeah, this is the first part of the series, but I know I talk a lot, so maybe this will be more, it'd be easier to stomach smaller videos so that it's not as overwhelming. But that's what I've got so far, and yeah, I'll let you know if I make any alterations to this, hopefully. But yeah, stay tuned for the rest. I will keep you updated.